Before moving to the vector multiplication, scalar product of two vector, vector product of two vector, and so on, first I will define a concept, a mathematical term that is known as Kronecker delta. Kronecker delta. Okay. So the idea of this Kronecker delta is, this is denoted by the term delta, and this is as del ij. This quantity is equal to 1 if I is equal to j. Otherwise, it is 0 if I is not equal to j. Okay. Now, in order to understand it, let's consider your coordinate system OX1, X2, X3. Here, if you recall, then this dot product of any two vector, base vector, is equal to E3, it is equal to 1. If it is not so, you are making the dot product of two different base vector, then it will be 0. This is what following the since it is a normal to each other, all the base vector perpendicular to each other, so this condition must be satisfied. So you just see that the Kronecker delta can be write this delta ij is ei cap ej. Okay, so here you see that when I is equal to j, so either when I is equal to 1, j is equal to 1, then it's e1 and dot e1, then it is equal to 1. It should be equal to 1. So delta Kronecker delta 1 should be equal to 1. If it is 2 also it is 1. If it is 3 then it is 1. It will give from this expression. Otherwise you will get this term when I is equal to not j. I is equal to not j, then you will get this expression. So this is very important, and in many mathematical expression we will use this Kronecker delta to make our life simpler. So now, and another feature is, let's say if you are having delta ii, the property of this Kronecker delta, if you will write in expanded form, then you will write as Kronecker delta 1 plus Kronecker delta 2 plus Kronecker delta 3 because I is the sum index, dummy index. Whenever we are having dummy index, we will do summation over that, then it is equal to 3. Okay. Now you are having del ij ej. So we have to expand this and see that what result you will get. So what we have to do here in this expression, there is only one dummy index and the j is dummy index. J is dummy index. It means that we have to do summation over this over j. So now this is del I 1 E1 cap plus I will be as it is 2 E2 cap plus del I 3 E3 cap. Fine. Now since I is not a dummy index, so here I is not a dummy index. So it means that we cannot do summation over I. So this is what the expanded form is. Now what I will get with this expanded form, I have not handled this I here. So what we will do now, let's keep when I is equal to 1. So what expression you will get? You will get del ij ej cap is equal to del 1 e1 cap plus del 1 e2 cap plus del 1 e3 cap. Fine. This is the expanded form with I is equal to 1. Okay. Since I is not a dummy index, so we cannot do summation over this. We have to always keep these points in our mind. Now, if you see in this expression, here I is equal to j. In this Kronecker delta, I is equal to j. So it means it is equal to 1. Okay. Now, here you are having Kronecker delta 1, 2. It means it is I and j are different. So it is 0. This term will be also 0. So actually, when you substituted I is equal to 1, you got E1. Similarly, when you are substituting in this expression I is equal to 2, this expression will result E2. And when you are substituting I is equal to 3, this expression will result E3. So following this, can we say that del ij ej is equal to nothing but ei? Can we say this? Because whatever I have substituted, I got that as a result. So here you see, when you have multiplied the base vector ej with a Kronecker delta ij, then you got ei. Okay. Now we will use this in the scalar product of two vectors, and also further I will discuss some very interesting properties of this Kronecker delta. So let's see the scalar product of two vectors. Again, we are having the vector u, we are having the vector v, and we will express u as ui ei. We will express v as vj ej, and scalar product is what? U dot v. So we will keep ui ei dot product vj ej. Now here vj and ui are the scalar quantity. Now if see in this expression, if we kept instead of j, if we will keep this as I, then we are doing mistake. And that is the reason we have to start with the different index. In each expression, first we should start with the different index. If in expression is such a way as the addition of two vectors, then we can make it the same. But here in the same expression, we are having both the indices with dot product. So here it should be the different, otherwise we will do mistake. So we have to be careful in these whenever you are doing these things. So now what here we will do, we will write ui vj as a together because it is a scalar quantity. Now here we will do the operation, this dot product operation on these two base vector, and we will write this as ei dot ej, and this can be written as ui vj, and the Kronecker delta just we have learned, this is what Kronecker delta I, this and this dot product of this will give you a Kronecker delta. Now now we have also seen a property that whenever you are having del ij and aj, for example, then you will get here ej, then you will get ei. Okay. So the following this property, can I say this term as vi? Because this j, when you will expand it, you will find it is nothing but equal to vi. And this is what, when you are doing the dot product of two vector using expanded form, you are getting actually the same expression as we are getting using the index notation u2 u. So this indicates that if we are handling very carefully this summation convention index notation, the same operation what we have done in expanded form can be done with indicial notation as well, and both will give the same result. Now we will see a very interesting property of canonical delta, and that is known as substitution property. Substitution property. And what is this? Just you have seen that when you have multiplied the canonical delta with Ej, you obtained Ei. So what happened in this operation? So here we are having I and j. J is the dummy index. I is a here free index, that is not repeated index. So after doing this, when you are multiplying any base vector with canonical delta, then you are getting the term with this, which is not a dummy index, which is a free index. So this is gets substituted, and this property is known as substitution property. Now let's see some more expression so that this concept will be understood by us. Let's say if we are having ei del ij, so what expression we will get? Anyone can guess this?
AJ.
Yeah, so this is aj, and you can just expand it and you will find that, yeah, you will get aj. Now instead of this, if you are having aj and this canonical delta ij, then here if you see the order, here j is the second subscript, here j is the second subscript, and this is the first subscript, here I is the first subscript, I is the first subscript. So the order is different. If you see, the order of the dummy indices are different than this. So what will be the result we will get here? Will substitution property is valid here?
Yes.
So in this case also it is valid, and you will get ai. So order here, actually what I want to make it clear that the order of this, the canonical delta in expression will not affect the result. Actually it will give whatever the substitution property it is doing, that the dummy index will get substituted by the free index. That will happen here as well. Now if let's say you have the expression aij and delta jk, then this expression can be written as, by using substitution property, as aik. So this j is not there in this, the final result. Now you are having these two re-index. If you are having, you can do the expanded form and you will get the result also. For your clarity, you can do all these things. If there are summation multiplication of two canonical delta with I, j and jk, then this will eventually become I, k. If you are having I, j and ji, then what will happen? Siddharth, can you give the answer? Siddharth is not there. Somnath? Somnath?
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Yes.
What will be the answer of this? By using the substitution property?
It will be del II or del JJ.
Yes, this is del II or del JJ, because here the final result is with the dummy indices. So this I or J has no significance. It is just a dummy term, and we can use any of these two. So this property of canonical delta is known as substitution property, and you will use several times in constructive modeling course or in continuum mechanics course if you will study in future. So now this is what about the canonical delta. Now I will introduce the another symbols, another concept, and before that, let's see the some property of our base vector. So one of the property of base vector we have explored, and we found that canonical delta is nothing but equal to the cross product, the dot product of the two base vector. Now here, if you are doing E1 cross E2, we will get E3. Okay, so cross product of base vector E1 and E2 will give E3. E2 cross E3, you will get E1, and E3 cross E1, you will get E2. Fine. Now, if we will change the order, then the result will be with negative sign. E3 cross E2 is equal to E1, and E1 cross E3 is minus E2. So by the changing the order of these two, the quantity, this vector, in when we are doing this vector product operation, then we are getting the result with negative sign. Now another thing is, when it is same, then the result will be 0. So this is well known property of this base vector, what of the coordinate system what we are using. Now, can we write this in a very in an indicial notation form? Is it possible? So for that, we have to define the term which satisfied all these criteria, and there is a term that is known as permutation symbols. Permutation symbol. This is denoted by the epsilon, and this is I, J, K, and this is equal to 0 if 2 or more indices. So here we are having 3, so 2 or 3 indices are equal. So either 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, 2, something like that. When we are having, then it will be 0. It is 1 when plus 1 when I, J, K are even permutation of, I will explain what is even permutation. Even permutation of 1, 2, and 3, and minus 1 if I, J, K are odd permutation of 1, 2, and 3. Now let's see what is even permutation and what is odd permutation. So even permutation, we are having when, let's say 1, 2, and 3, and you are giving the I, J, K following this anti-clockwise rotation, so then this is positive. This is even permutation. So like 1, 2, 3, or 2, 3, 1, or 3, 1, 2. This is an example of even permutation. So whenever you are putting in epsilon I, J, K following this order, then it will give the plus 1, otherwise it will give the -1 or 0. Now the odd permutation, so just it's reverse of this. Instead of anti-clockwise, if you are following clockwise, then it is negative. And the example is 3 2 1 2 1 3 1 2 1 3 and 1 3 sorry 1 3 and 2. So this permutation will combination will give the -1. So this is what even permutation and odd permutation. So now using this, can I write the vector product of two base vector ei cap ej cap, all the 9 findings we have obtained, that multiplying E1 cross E2 is equal to this and that. So can I write in a very simpler form as permutation symbol I J K E K. So this vector product of two base vector can be written as this. Now this permutation symbol will handle plus or minus. If order is even permutation, then you will get the plus sign. If order is odd permutation, you will get minus sign. If any I, j, k, two or more indices are equal, then you will get 0. And this is what definition of the cross product of our base vectors. So by writing this expression, actually we are expressing all the 9 expression what we have done earlier. Okay, so I'd like to take few questions and then we will have a small break of 5 minutes and then we will have further discussion. So do you have any question? Please ask me.
Yes, sir.
Yeah.
Sir,
go ahead.
This expression you have written EI cross EJ,
yes,
and then epsilon ij.
Can you say loudly so that I can hear you?
So could I say could I write it like that? EI cross EJ, that's equal to EK IJ EK cap.
EI
EJ EK IJ. Sorry, epsilon K.
1 minute.
I'm just telling right hand side.
Yeah, you just okay. Epsilon
K IJ EK.
Okay.
Yep.
Let's check whether it is following the order or not. So if we are having I, J and K, okay, and if this is even permutation, then it is okay. So K, I, J is even permutation, then it is okay. Then we can write I, J, K, E, K, and this is equal to permutation symbol K, I, J, E, K, and it is equal to permutation symbol K, I, J done, I, J, K, I, J, K we have done, K, I, J we have done, so J, K, I. So these three will give actually same result because here we are not altering its order. So up to this it is okay. It's just depending on the expression, we can, whenever situation will come, we can play with all these, taking the freedom, this freedom, we can do all these calculations.
Okay, sir.
Okay. Any other question?
Sir?
Yes.
Sir, can you please go back to the scalar product slide?
Scalar product. That is this. Yes. Tell me, what is your question?
The last step, like how is Vj delta Ij equal to Vi? I didn't get that.
Okay. Let me explain you. So we have this is as canonical delta. Okay. Now, okay, you are talking about substitution property, isn't it? So let's say Vj delta Ij, I have written as, let's say, Vi, isn't it? So let's expand it. We will do expansion over J. summation over j. So I will be kept as it is, and v2 delta I2 plus v3 delta Kronecker delta I3. Okay, now see, in this expression, when you will substitute I is equal to 1, then this expression will give you v1 delta 11 plus v2 delta 12 plus v3 delta 13. Now this Kronecker delta 12 and Kronecker delta 13 will be equal to 0 as per its definition. So these two terms becomes 0, and now you are having this delta 11 Kronecker delta 11 is actually, it is equal to v1. Okay, so this is what v1. So what you got, you substituted I is equal to 1 and you got v1. When you will substitute I is equal to 2, you will get v2. When you will substitute I is equal to 3, you will get v3. So it means here, can I say this is 1, 2 and 3, can I say this as vi, and this is what the substitution property of Kronecker delta is doing, and that property we have used. So now is it clear to you?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Yeah.
Thank you.